No one intervened.
If you seek a pleasant peninsula, look about you. That is the official state motto of my home state, Michigan. I am your hostess, Jacqui Lents, and I have always felt a more perfect motto could not have been created for this Great Lakes state. And if you really want to get a sense of how pleasant this peninsula is, you need to go to the Straits of Mackinac and to Mackinac Island. To get to Mackinac Island, and that's pronounced Mackinac, you take a boat from either St. Ignace from the north or Mackinac City in the south. Mack City, in a northern linguistic quirk, has the same sound as the island, but a different spelling. Yeah, it's confusing, but I think it adds to the fun. So let me try to explain. The history teacher in me needs to take a minute to address this. In 1715, the French built a fort in current-day Mackinac City, spelling the local word for the area, meaning place of the great turtle, with the silent C. That is spelled Mackinac. I took some French in high school and college. I swear that language just isn't happy unless there's some letters that are silent. The British took control of the fort in 1761. And in 1781, the fort was moved over the ice from the mainland to its current location on present-day Mackinac, spelled with the C, island. The island kept the French spelling after the fort. In 1857, Edgar Conkling founded present-day Mackinac City, spelled Mackinaw, spelling the city to reflect the way it's pronounced in a more anglicized way, also creating the strange situation of a city and an island with the same sounding name but different spellings. But no matter the spelling, Mackinac Island is a gem of Michigan and a top tourist destination for locals and outsiders alike. I am joined in talking and sharing my love of the island today with my travel companion and dear friend, Amy McLaren. Thank you for chatting with me, Amy.
Hello, thank you for having me.
I love traveling. Like, love, 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 love. And my husband loves having the house to himself for a few days. Amy has often been the answer to our prayers, runs away with me, and gives the poor man some peace and quiet for a few days, while I get to have an adventure. It works out pretty well. Amy, your crazy work schedule often makes for a perfect travel companion.
First of all, can I say I love being the answer to somebody's prayers? We'll start with that. And yeah, my work schedule is a bit different than the normal 9 to 5 work schedule that most people have. I'm a 911 dispatcher, so I work 4 days 1 week, 3 days the next. What that schedule mostly gives me is a 4-day weekend every other weekend, which is perfect for traveling.
Oh, it so is. I love your 4-day weekends.
I love them too, but I love them especially when I get to do an adventure.
Absolutely. Amy, how long have we been having these traveling adventures now?
Well, first, I would say, how would you define traveling adventures?
Well, that's true. I mean, we did travel back in college.
Which also tells you how long we've been friends, if we go back that far.
Long time. Then we traveled to Washington, D.C. back when we were roomies.
Oh, just before. It was our trip before we both became married women.
Yes.
Our last hurrah.
Okay, so when we're talking like these trips, okay, parameters. So it's got to be just us. We're adults, like grown, like real adults. I'm leaving a husband behind.
We've thrown the phrase mature women a couple times.
Yeah, that works. Okay, so how long have we been having the travel adventures with just you and I as mature women where I'm leaving my husband behind.
If I think back on that, I'm going to say our first was probably Holland in the dead of winter of all times. To go to Holland, that is not what most people would say the perfect time to go.
No.
But we did have so much fun.
Yes. If you guys don't know Holland, Michigan, it's known for springtime.
Specifically tulips.
Yes. Amazing tulip festival, which I've never been to. Have you been to it?
I actually have only been to Holland with you in the dead of winter. I've never been to the tulip festival yet.
I think we have to add that to our list now.
Sounds like a plan.
And that was our first, though. Another place has kind of become a favorite of ours. We've gone back several times. Of course, I'm talking about Mackinac Island. I can't wait to go back again. Though it's funny, actually, I feel like I've been there a lot lately. I've been editing my book, and there are several chapters that take place on the island, and that's where I'm at right now in editing.
So have our trips helped you draw inspiration for the book?
Oh, absolutely, they have. And I feel like I have spent a lot of time on the island and remembering our time there as I've been editing. I just love it. Now, I have never done the fort on the island. I want to do it, and I don't want to do it. Like, I love the fact that there's still something that I have to do on the island. Like, that there's this new thing to do. And it's such a big item on the island. Like, there's so many people, like, when they go there, that's what they do. The problem is, once I've done it, I've done it. And until I've done it, I have to always go back because I haven't done it yet. So, like, it always leaves me a good reason to return.
Can I throw this out there, though, Jacqui? There's always a good reason to return to Mackinac Island.
Okay, that's pretty fair. Yeah.
So you've done the fort. There will always be other things to draw us back.
I'm gonna have to just do the fort. So maybe our next trip, we'll do the fort finally. There's also, there's always the lure of the cute shops, the ice cream, the fudge that it's famous for.
Oh, the fudge. The fudge smells, multiple fudge shops. As soon as you leave one fudge shop, you walk out to the main drag or the main road and you can still smell the fudge. And there's, I think, 3 or 4 main fudge shops on the island that they're known for. But my favorite part about fudge shops is, I will mention this to people at home, friends, family, colleagues, that I'm returning to the island. And the first thing they always say, bring us back fudge.
Oh, yeah, but I love the fact that it's not
as simple as that.
Oh, no, it's not. It's not like, oh, get me a bar of chocolate fudge. Oh, no, your orders. Oh, my gosh. There's like the half day of your fudge orders. It is so complicated. Like on our trip, I know this is going to take a chunk of our trip.
I have gotten it down to more of a science, though, than the first time we went. But what's funny is everyone that requests a slice or 2 of fudge has their preference in shops. And of course, it can't be the same shop every time.
Oh, no.
I've got people who insist that only Murdoch's is the place to get fudge. People that insist Joann's or Ryba's. But like I said, it can't be just go to this one fudge shop. So part of my day is gotta find a Murdoch's, gotta find a Ryba's, gotta find a Joann's.
Oh, yeah. But we go to the island, we're going to go to at least 3 fudge shops. And I can think of 4 off the top of my head. But we're going to go to at least 3 different fudge shops to get your fudge list every time we go.
And I have to say, you have gotten very patient. You have been very patient with that.
I think part of it's because I love going in there because I keep hoping I'm going to get a glimpse of them making the fudge. And here's the great irony, folks. I don't really like fudge. I'm not like, you go in, they'll give you a sample, one little bite, and I'm done. I'm good. I don't need a bar.
Not a slice.
No,
a bite is enough
a
for
bite
you.
is enough for me. But watching them make the fudge on that slab of marble, it is the most hypnotic, relaxing. It's
mesmerizing.
It's fantastic. I love watching it.
And something that just occurred to me too is you go into a fudge shop where they're actively making the fudge. You're not the only one mesmerized by this.
Oh, no.
Sometimes you have to fight your way to the front to see it because you're 2 or 3 rows deep of people that just love to stare at the person that's turning the fudge.
There's like fudge groupies.
Yeah.
And it's such a part of the island as much as like the architecture is a part of the island. If you guys have never been to the island, which you got to fix that, it is also known for like its Victorian architecture. There's all this gingerbread and painted ladies, all this colorful pastel colored buildings, and it's just gorgeous. Oh, and the churches. Oh, they're so beautiful. There's the little stone church, and it is as adorable as the name sounds. Like, it just couldn't be any cuter. There's St. Anne's Catholic Church, which is with its white spire and its stained glass, and it's so elegant. And yeah, if you like churches, it's a great place to go. And actually, there's even another church I haven't even been to yet, so I've got another place for us to check out besides the fort next time we go. One of the most, like, when you think of Mackinac Island, the quintessential thing is the transportation. It's the horses. No vehicles are allowed on the island except for like emergency vehicles.
Clippity clop. Clippity clop of the horse hooves
when you
hitting the ground.
Come off the ferry and you hit the main street, you hear click, click, click. And it just boom, it just transports you.
It comes from every direction, everywhere you
Yes.
look. You see horses, carriages, and just hear that. Takes you back to an older time. Takes you
it's
to another world.
That sound is so magical.
Yep.
And then you got the ring of the bikes that, oh my goodness, there's so many bikes. So, because on the island you can either walk it, bike it, or use horses to get around. For the like, if you go on the island, the apps, like, okay, a lot of people do the forts, but the number one thing you have to do is one of these horse carriage tours. They're totally touristy. They're fantastic. They take you to a bunch of the key sites on the island, and you get to ride in a horse carriage. And they're so much fun.
Besides the horse carriage tours, you can rent a horse, you can ride a horse for a couple of hours. And that takes me back to one of my first memories of being on the island with my mom and my dad. And my mom, when I was younger, had 2 true loves in her life, besides myself. And it was Mackinac Island and horses. She'd take one or the other, but truly she was happy when she had them both together. So I remember as a child, my first time on a horse was actually riding a horse with my mom. My parents rented this, my mom got on, and then my dad placed me in the saddle in front of her. And we just walked. I think we had it for about an hour. Couldn't tell you the horse's name, but I still remember her wrapping her arms around me and leaning on the reins. And sitting there leaning up into my mom. And it's a whole new level of peaceful. I remember this. And I'm 47, so we're talking 40 years ago. I still remember just how serene, I didn't know that word, but just how wonderful it felt to be up there, hearing the sounds of the horses.
This felt the right time of year to share our memories of the island, as the annual Lilac Festival is coming up soon. It will be held June 6th through 10th this year. Amy and I have more recollections of our time on the island, which we will be sharing on my next episode. Thank you, listeners, for joining us. Remember, you can follow on Apple Podcast, Spotify, Google Podcast, and iHeartRadio. Or you can find me, like, and subscribe on YouTube. My regular podcasts come out every other Thursday. If you are enjoying these podcasts, I would be delighted if you shared with your friends, left a rating on Spotify, or a review on iTunes. I hope you will come back for my next episode when Amy and I will be chatting about places we stayed on Mackinac Island. I wish you well.